5 o'clock. I'm going to give a couple more minutes for everyone to trickle in for today's governance call. I'll be guest hosting it one more week for Tyler, who normally handles the governance calls, but we will start governance call number 51 shortly. Okay, I guess it's a good place to start as any. GM all, welcome to the 51st governance call. I'm substituting for Tyler, who is out of the office. So I will be hosting today's call. Hope that my voice isn't too much. Heard some people saying that it was a little loud. GM the Smith. Let's see. Thanks, PTT. Well, welcome everybody. I know we'll probably get some more people filing in a few minutes from now, but I'm going to go ahead and get started for today's call. I appreciate everyone who's already here in audience, and for those who will be coming shortly. As stated, today's call is the 51st governance call that we've had here within the ShapeShift DAO. Thank you for everyone who is familiar with the process, but for those who aren't, basically this is a recap of last week's governance and activities that revolve around governance that have happened within the DAO. So we'll recap some proposals, some past proposals, some new proposals, forum posts, ideations, things that we're looking forward to, possibly hitting within the governance process. So we will start that. But first, we introduced something about a month or so back, where we do appreciations for everyone and allow the audience, as well as people that have the capacity to raise their hand or jump up on stage, to give some appreciations to others within the community itself. Let me see here. I don't see any hands up. I'm going to check the stage, see if there's anything saying anything. Okay, seems to be just gifts right now. So I'll open it up and just say, as I did last week, I appreciate the opportunity to guest host our governance call. I know it's one of our better known calls that we have on a weekly basis, so I appreciate the opportunity. Hopefully I'm not boring you guys up here, and I'm giving you guys pertinent information as it deals with the DAO and the DAO's governance process. I appreciate all the work that has gone in, not just the past week, but continuously goes in to the DAO and the efforts of all those who are helping to try to contribute and build and continue to make something out of our community. So I appreciate all those who have put in the effort, the time, the energy, and what we can achieve through doing that together within this organization. So thank you to all. Definitely, I don't know if I see any engineers yet. They might be in other meetings, but obviously, as operations, we work very closely with a lot of the work streams. And I do have to say that been seeing a lot of things go into getting the app updated and achieving some great goals that we've placed on ourselves from months back with parity and even beyond parity. So definitely appreciate those efforts from all those individuals and teams that have worked to get that accomplished. Definitely appreciate marketing's efforts to get all of their promotional materials out there and the word and the visibility of ShapeShift. So thank you everyone for that as well. Anyone else have any appreciations that they would like to offer or share? Thanks, Hunt, for the appreciation. And everybody else. Definitely appreciations for the Smith for jumping in and getting that proposal passed. Really appreciate that as well. Thanks, Shifty. Yeah, for pointing that out. Yeah, Smith, thank you. We'll talk about it a little bit more, but obviously that proposal was passed and is now taking effect. Congratulations to the globalization team and all of the great things that they've been really working hard to achieve in promoting and translating and opening it up to a globalized community and getting ShapeShift to be so much more than a single organization. So thank you so much for everyone involved in that. And it's not just globalization. There's a lot of people that have worked very hard to help achieve that and continually will work towards that. So thank you all. All right. So if there's no more appreciations, I don't see any hands. I'll go ahead and move on to review the most recent proposals, which currently it's pretty quiet in the forums. I think we went through a flurry of some activity, and possibly now it's been a little bit quieter as far as what we have posted on there and live. Currently, the only proposal that is up for vote is SCP-93, and this is a request for additional allocation for Fox tokens to the TMDC. The proposer is Professor McCarthy. I will definitely invite him up here. Let me put the invite out. He would like to come up here and speak a little bit more on it. I know he's been on to a couple of these and a couple of different calls explaining this and expressing what this is and summarizing it. So I'll give you the opportunity, Professor. Welcome again. I know you were up here last week. You don't have to take a whole bunch of time, but definitely give you the platform to go ahead and talk about this proposal and what you see the need for and how it solves those needs.
Hi, everyone. And, yeah, I am in the car, so apologies for any road noise from my fellow foxes. Can you hear me all right?
Yep, can hear you fine. Thank you.
Right. Perfect. So this is for another allocation for the TMDC. And, we've had some pretty lively discussions in the forums and also in the tokenomics public Discord about this. So I implore anybody that has any further questions about that, reach out to myself, reach out to Kent, post a comment or a question either in the general chat or in the tokenomics public, and then just, at the Treasury and then one of us will get back to you. So any questions on those spreadsheets or kind of what we plan to do with that? We don't have any grand plans to do anything, drastically different in terms of, new products or things like that. We're managing the existing loans, and we're trying to evaluate and look at, we're still evaluating, look at some new opportunities in terms of raising stables and expanding the bond programs and so on and so forth. But with new bond programs coming online soon, we're kind of just holding our horses right now and staying tight. But we want to make sure that we have plenty of room to navigate when that does happen. And so that's part of why we are going up for this allocation. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, and everybody.
Thank you, Professor McCarthy. Appreciate you giving us your time. I know that you were traveling or on the road, so be careful. And thanks again for putting up the proposal and allowing people to get this in front of themselves and make their decisions and vote for whether they approve or don't approve. But I would hope that anyone that wouldn't approve would definitely offer, any type of communication to why that might be the case or how we can work together to get that solved versus just, not being not letting anyone know. But it's each person's choice. So if they want to just vote, they can just vote. We did have two things that passed successfully. One I alluded to earlier was the globalization proposal, putting the Smith as the workstream leader. So congratulations on that. Passed very favorably. And I'm very happy to see that this can go forward and hopefully provide continuing value to the DAO itself. And the second proposal that went in a few days back was the third term for our operations workstream. Now, I am a little biased on this because I currently am on the operations workstream. So forgive me if I seem very jaded in thinking that we provide value to the DAO, but definitely am very happy to see our team continue on and be able to provide the value that we continuously do to the DAO. So thank you very much to the community for your support. I know that the proposer, Tyler, our workstream leader, isn't in the office today, so he's not able to speak towards that, but maybe next week when he's back on, I'm sure he's going to express his gratitude towards that as well, I would assume. Smith, I see you up here. Go ahead, and you want to talk to the audience a little bit about the proposal, or at least show appreciation. Feel free, man. Good to have you up here.
Yes, GM. Yeah, my first of all, my appreciation, comes from you, dude. Thank you for the kind words. That was only possible because of the community. So I appreciated everyone who expressed their opinions and voted in the proposal. It is passed, and now global is reality. We already turned on the engines and started our services. And however, the globalization work stream has an inaugural office hours will be on August 15 at 2 p.m. Mountain time. So I hope to see everybody there. And thank you again for the words. It was very kind. Definitely. We hope to continue to build. We are building, and we will keep building.
Yeah, definitely. No worries. Thank you, Smith. And definitely check out any of the multitude of calls that I know globalization has in the past as well as going forward. They've been very open to the community and community being involved with that. So thank you, Smith, as always. I know you guys have been very open and allowing people to come in and for everyone in multiple languages. So forth. So thank you very much.
Yeah, that's our mission. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
No problem. All right. So one thing that I will also include, I know that this current slide, and I apologize, I forgot at the top of the call to say that, for those who want to follow along, There's a Zoom link, but sometimes the best option might be just following along through our Twitch stream that streams the slides. But there's a slide that continues to be in the slide deck about Boardroom. And normally it says, ideation of Boardroom is coming back. I amended that a little bit this week with a maybe and a question mark. There's a current proposal live in ideation, talking about modifying ideation polling and possibly offering different solutions to how we might change platforms or just navigate a little bit differently. So I will definitely, I know Ocean has spoken a little bit about this in the past. I don't know if he wants to come up today and speak to the proposal itself, SCP 97, but he is definitely welcome to if he wants to. He might not. Oh, there he is. Go ahead, Ocean. I will allow you to kind of talk about this a little bit, and thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Neverwas. Yeah, I've obviously spoken about this a few times now, and I think most people have seen it. If you haven't, please give it a read. Basically, just a way of trying to modify our ideation polling to remove it from the forum and move it over to Snapshot. The forum has no authentication for who's signing up and voting. So theoretically, you could have people that wanted to stop, or a person that wanted to stop a vote from going to Snapshot, and they could create a bunch of fake users and vote. And so it just creates a potential attack vector in our governance process. And we have recently seen a lot of DAOs that have had attacks to their governance process. They've been more of the on-chain type of attacks, but I do think it's something we should be vigilant about, fix. So the proposal states that instead of having the ideation poll in the forum, we would do that in Snapshot, which does require people to hold Fox, and then it would remediate all of the issues that, or the potential issues that exist. So that's basically the gist of it. And there is some tooling that is hopefully coming soon that would make a better user experience, and we might be able to migrate to in the future called Metaphoro, but it's just not quite ready yet. So I personally don't want to wait for that to become available, and just want to make sure that we close down this potential loophole before it becomes a problem.
Oh, thank you, Ocean, as always, for being able to get these ideas in front of the community and allowing them to first of all voice any concerns or thoughts on those things, but also putting them all the way to voting process and giving the ability to actually utilize their Fox and governance token to vote for those things. So thank you for going through with those things and thinking of the community and going forward. Thanks, Ocean.
Yeah, if there's any feedback, please let me know. You can vote on the ideation post in the forum right now. Leave feedback there. Mostly it's been supportive, so in the next couple of days, if that's still the case, I'll move it over to a Snapshot vote.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. We have one new ideation draft, and HPain has already been extended and accepted. This is increasing debt-backed funding. SCP to be determined still, but go ahead, HPain. Welcome you up to stage and offer you the opportunity to speak a little bit about this proposal and offer to answer any questions if necessary from GM.
Yeah. Hello. Thanks for having me up. So yeah, this is really cool. We've been pardon me. We've been running DAppBack for 3 months now ish, and we've seen some significant, really great traffic from them for relatively a low spend. And so they're rolling out these on-chain rewards. And if you guys check them out on I think it's like dappback dot something. It's in this proposal. You can see that they have, a bunch of other DAOs are on there. We're number 4 on their homepage. So if you go to their site and log in, we're way up at the top. So very high probability of people stumbling onto us. And so to get these on-chain tasks up and increase some of these rewards, we're going to be able to compete a little bit better with some of these other DAOs and organizations who have rewards through them, while also sort of promoting almost a bootstrap to a Fox Incent program. that we, centralized used to have a little bit of through Rainfall, but sort of bringing that back through DAppBack and rewarding users in an ungameable way, or hopefully ungameable way, to participate and use our app. And so we're really hoping to convert a lot of these users over. I think, what is it? I'm looking at some of this data. We had 11.5 thousand users completed our tasks over the last couple months, which has been fantastic, because if we can even capture a portion of that into people just using the app and realizing like how cool this is, that would be a huge step in sort of moving this forward, and also more people just testing it out and using it and saying, hey, like this is broken, or hey, this is great. And so really getting some more critical feedback from a broader audience through DAppBack. So hoping this goes through. It's for $70,000 in Fox, which is a lot, but it's all in Fox. So I'm hoping that sort of alleviates a lot of that pressure. And yeah, that's sort of the short and skinny on that.
Oh, thank you very much, H. Payne. Appreciate you. I believe this might be your first proposal you put forward. So thank you very much for getting involved in this proposal process, which can be interesting. So yeah, hopefully you will get some good feedback and comments, and are able to maneuver through this and make sure that everyone has all the information they need to make an informed decision going forward. And so thank you.
Thank you.
I did see one question on stage that I missed from Pastagos regarding the previous SCP-97 and modifying ideation polling. The question is interesting because I believe that it is not possible to change. So once it goes to snapshot, I believe that you cannot modify the ideation proposal. It would just basically have to be go through and voted down, or possibly pulled down by the poster. But I don't think once it goes to snapshot, I think it's immutable, and it has to stay in its current form. So I believe that is the case. But if anyone knows better, please, definitely answer on stage on the stage chat for Pastagos. Thank you. See, Ocean is already on that. We have an old ideation, which I don't know if Traveling John is in the audience. Let me take a quick look here. Don't see that he is, but this is ideation post about requesting some funding for video post-production. This was for some work that was already completed during ETH Denver. This proposal was already up at one time and had some very positive voting towards it, but just didn't make it past quorum. So it therefore didn't succeed, but it has been modified a little bit and then reposted. I know Traveling John was here, got up on stage and was able to speak about this a little bit. So if you you're not familiar with this one, please check it out in the forum, guys, and get up to date on it so that you can use your Fox to vote for this going forward. Okay, so we have a very quiet forum as far as new posts. Not much happening on the forum as far as anything new going on in the past 7 days. So that for me is a good thing, because I don't have to talk much about it and didn't have to type it up. But anyways, we hope that we'll start picking up again on the forum soon, and have some new ideas and people expressing some new thoughts and contributing to the DAO, because we need that going forward. But I guess we're taking a little break this week. We have an old post. I know Crypto Meg had mentioned earlier that she feels she kind of spoke on this last week, so she's good, but I definitely just will list it here. There's an interesting conversation going on in the forum titled "What Does Maternity Leave Leave in a DAO Look Like?" Meg updated a little bit today on that, just basically asking that the conversation continue while she does take a leave for her own personal reasons and her family. So we definitely hope that we can continue this conversation and come to some great thoughts and process and possibilities. And then maybe when she comes back from leave, she can definitely jump back in and be more involved to that conversation. But I think she did say that she would check in and keep an eye on it if possible. So hat off to you, Megan. Please have a very safe leave when you do take it. And hopefully you don't have to stress about anything that's happening in the DAO. All right, what else do we have here? Let me look at stage chat. Okay, Ocean thought that he was answering a different question. Great conversation there on there. I'll let you guys go ahead and talk that. I see Ocean said he just checked sure how long that's allowed for more information regarding and be able to offer that to the community. Okay, so I'm gonna open up the conversation now a little bit. I know we're running a little fast today, which is fine, but a shorter call. Hopefully we can give some feedback. But I will open up a little time here for some questions. Any ideas to discuss proposals or governance process or anything? If anyone wants to ask them now, feel free. Definitely do this call every week. So a lot of the regulars audience probably don't have, Pasta Ghost. We'll definitely invite you up. Sorry, I thought you could jump up on your own behalf. Hey, Pasta Ghost, how's it going, man?
You hear me okay?
Go ahead. Yep, go ahead. Stage is yours, sir.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, just a quick question here. I was typing this up in the voice chat, but I figured it might be easier to just say it by voice. So, yeah, the concern I had about, or the reason I asked the question about whether or not it's possible to change the votes on Snapshot, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a significant part of the intent of the ideation phase is to allow for proposals to be modified with input from the community before they go to official vote. So, in other words, I do think that you did ask a different question than the one that I expressed, but the one that you asked is relevant too. So, if we can't change votes, it looks like we can, but maybe, but it's indeterminate as to how long we can do that. We can't change votes, and we can't change the proposal once it's been submitted to Snapshot. Then, what does the iterative feedback process look like? Do we have to keep resubmitting the proposal to Snapshot, time after time through successive revision cycles if changes are requested by the community? If that's the case, is there any concern about maybe the feedback process being sufficiently hindered that we wouldn't get the same level of crafted modification from the ideation phase as it stands now?
Yeah, great questions. I don't personally have the answers to them. So, yeah, I think maybe this is something definitely we should have the community weigh in on. There's Ocean. Hopefully Ocean can shed a little bit more light on it. I'll leave it to you guys.
I think it's a good discussion for sure. It's not explicit, but I did post a link that makes it sound like you can change your votes up to the end of the Snapshot period. But that's, it's kind of not like a very good answer, I think, to what we're asking.
I think we need
so
to be able to change both the vote and the proposal. What do you think about just posting a link to the forum post in the description on Boardroom so that we can, during the ideation phase, users are able to change votes? We've got the civil protection that's afforded by use of Snapshot, and whoever's written up the proposal can change the proposal in real time to match community sentiment.
So I'm open to it. I think that you end up with other potential concerns, right? Like, imagine everyone's voted. We're at the point where there's consensus to move it to Snapshot, like the official Snapshot voting. And then at the last minute, I guess you have the forum history, but theoretically, how do you know if someone voted on the original or the amended? So this might be a feature, not a bug.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the one
Uh,
just the concern that I have there is, if it's really if the process this well, I, if the process becomes overly cumbersome, it's unlikely that we'll get full participation after one or two feedback rounds, which may not be in our best interest. At the same time, the Sybil attack vector through the current voting process is apparent, right? We have to do something. I worry about the drawbacks of it.
Definitely. I see Willie
Yeah.
jumped up here on stage too. Let's see if he wants to weigh in on here as well. But go ahead, Ocean, if you had a thought.
No, let's go see what Willie's got to say. He's always got some good ideas.
GM. Yeah, Pasta already mentioned my last idea, so I agree. I do definitely like the idea of including a link to the forum post in the snapshot proposal, because to your point, definitely part of the intention when we created ideation was to allow for feedback and iteration during that phase. I definitely have some of those concerns around the user experience for having ideation in our same snapshot space. And I think we recognize that it's not necessarily ideal, but it is kind of the best solution we have available right now to solve this Sybil vulnerability that I do think is worse to have in place. And we're already seeing some examples lately, more and more examples of people who are abusing the ideation voting in the forum. We had like over 100 votes, I think, on HPain's recent proposal. So people are starting to catch on. I definitely support Ocean's proposal as a good solution to prevent the Sybil attacks. We are at the same time working with a tool called Metaforo that could very quickly end up replacing this new snapshot, this new ideation procedure. Metaforo basically is a replacement it's like a Web3 native replacement for Discourse. So it has all the functionality with our Discourse forum. I'm actually going to be working on a proposal to migrate our entire forum over to Metaforo. We've been working with them in the test phase. So obviously won't push forward that until we think that Metaforo is a better solution than the forum. But from what we've seen so far, they already have all the functionality and are able to migrate all of our Discourse history into the Metaforo instance and enable any Discourse users to connect their old forum account to their wallet. So it's looking really promising. And we asked them if they could basically help us solve this problem. And they already have the functionality to create polls and make the polls token gated so that only Fox holders can vote on the polls. But we asked if they could go above and beyond that and do the same ideation functionality where they use our snapshot strategies to calculate each forum user's voting power. So based on all the Fox they hold across all the different DeFi protocols and chains that we have supported on Snapshot. And they said that should be ready. They're working on that. They love that future idea, and they're working to have that ready for us because they very much want us to migrate our forum and our ideation over to Metaforo. So that conversation is going on. That will be a separate proposal. But yeah, just wanted to call that out there because I agree there are some UX concerns with moving ideation to Snapshot. But I think it makes sense to move forward with Ocean's proposal so that we at least have that in place, so that we're not stuck in a situation where we can't pass any proposals because we're getting Sybil attacked. So, but definitely looking to even better solutions to follow on.
Cool. Yeah, one thing that looking forward to learning more about the Metaforo solution is if like just the polling can be like a snapshot or something, so that the ideation itself can be posted through the forum and changes, and the poll that will be linked to Fox wallets or whatever, and it'll be verifiable, but it'll also allow for a little bit more flexibility in the actual ideation aspect of the proposal itself.
Yes. So if we were to use Metaforo's functionality for ideation, it would feel a lot like if it was on Snapshot, but it would be its own separate instance in the forum. So it'd be kind of the best of both worlds. It'd be like ideation in the forum where all the discussion's happening and with the ability to comment and iterate. But instead of just a one user, one vote on the poll, it would use the same strategies that we have in Snapshot to calculate the voting power. So it really does. It solves that Sybil problem, but also enables us to keep the nice user experience and make sure we're not hindering or inhibiting the discussion and the feedback process.
On the current forum, I'm curious, and I guess I can go try this right now. Is there any restrictions on editing?
You can go ahead. you can edit the proposal itself as is there as well. I don't know if you can edit the poll, but you can definitely switch your vote. Once you voted, you can change your vote as an end user, but I don't think that the person who posts the proposal or the poll can modify the poll without closing that one and creating another one. But other people have done a lot more in the poll, so they might know more about that.
So
I guess
new users can edit posts. That's a configurable thing we have in our forum, and right now we have it set so that the minimum trust level required to edit post is 0. So definitely users can edit their draft proposal.
Okay, if that's the case, then we should just do what you suggested, right? Which is link the draft proposal to the snapshot, and then, I mean, I don't. If we already have that risk, so to speak, of like someone in the last second modifying a proposal, then we don't introduce that risk by simply linking back to the forum. So I'm totally open to modifying the current ideation post to simply say that the snapshot ideation post will link back to the forum as the primary text.
Is the forum edit history timestamped?
Yes. Let me go look at an edited post, but yes, you can see the full revision history.
Cool. Yeah, in the worst case where something like that does happen, at least it'll be detectable.
Yeah, and I think, to your point, if that were to happen, and it was clearly like a malicious proposal or someone made some changes that were contentious without giving it time, I think it'd be very unlikely for that proposal to still pass. So I would consider that once we get to the governance level, it's pretty much just like the same as if someone just submitted a malicious proposal to try and steal funds from the DAO or something. So
yeah.
I think that's a fine.
Cool. Sure. I'll go ahead and edit the proposal then to include that, right? So it'll just be the body of the proposal will link back solely to the forum, and that will be the canonical thing that we're voting on.
Cool. Thank you so much for everyone who jumped up on stage. Pasta, I think you unmuted still. You might want to have something to say, but I appreciate you guys being willing to come back up here and talk about this in front of the community. It's definitely more valuable that we have this input, and we just learn new things right now. We're making progress as we speak.
Thank you. Was just one clarification too. So the revision history is timestamped, but right now at least all I can see is the date. I can't see the exact time, but still, I think that's totally acceptable.
Yeah, because we still, like you said, we still have the safeguard of people actually voting on the proposal and snapshot.
Exactly.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Any further questions on this? Let me look at the chat real quick to see if we missed anything. H-Pain just made a comment about his votes on his proposal. Mentioned Willie. Highlander had a comment. It's possible to poll proposals pretty easily from Snapshot. You can simply vote to poll change and then vote again. I see Willie, you're answering people in there as well. So, yeah. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate this conversation. Governance only gets better if we all participate and add to the conversation versus just not participating or allowing others to kind of drive the conversation. So thank you, everyone, for being willing to jump up here and talk about this a little bit more. ET has a question about additional voter fatigue to need to connect wallets to multiple times to vote. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, if we do move to something like Metaforum, I think that once you connect, it basically can allow you to connect to like Snapshot as well. But I'd have to learn more about the solution. But I think that just logging into the forum with your wallet versus logging in with a username and password, Web3 technology might be a little bit more smooth of a transition for some users. But then again, each user has their own preferences. Giantkin and a few others have commented about a little voter fatigue, or at least the involvement it takes sometimes to go through the governance process. Definitely worth something that we can talk about going forward within the DAO. But I think that's probably for a larger discussion, forum posts or something on that, to where we could kind of follow along and have a written conversation, even though everyone's tired of reading. But sometimes documenting these things goes a long way for people that might not be able to have all of these conversations on live stage or anything. So definitely, Giantkin made a comment, I don't like all the wallet logins. It's a risk. Can definitely see the potential there for some concerns, depending on how people have their funds situated and such. So that is something we'll probably talk about as well. But I would definitely offer up that we as a community should probably have this discussion a little bit further and allow ourselves to kind of offer different solutions and move this forward. So if anyone would like to continue that conversation in a documented format like the forum or somewhere, please feel free. Obviously, Discord can keep records of that, but the stage chat does get wiped after it's recorded. So maybe having this in the governance channel or proposal discussions or something like that might also be a good idea going forward for people to kind of follow along after the fact. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. I was filling in for Tyler. This is my last week. Hopefully we'll be back to our regular scheduled communicator